January is that time of year when many of us create a new vision, make resolutions, have goals, because there's something really special that allows that new picture, some new life to come in. It's also the day of Unity of Ventura. It's our annual membership meeting, and I believe it's an important time for us to anchor in our commitment to the vision we have for this spiritual community. So today, I'm going to be talking about the visioning process using one of my favorite inspirational stories. It was one that Reverend Kathy told many times. I love this visioning process because I believe visioning is a way for us to connect with spirit. We tune into that higher frequency where possibilities lie, the potential of our highest good awaits. So when I was creating my own vision, I was reminded of that story all the times that Reverend Kathy told it, and it inspired me every single time. The story is called 3 Feet from Gold, and it's based on the principles outlined in Napoleon Hill's famous New Thought book, Think and Grow Rich. Now, if you have never heard this true story before, I'm going to tell you there's some valuable lessons here. But if you, like me, have heard it, I encourage you to listen today with new ears for something new and this new year. Okay, here's the story. It begins when an uncle of R.U. Darby was caught up in that gold rush fever, and he went west to dig and grow rich in the mining business. Now, he didn't know anything about mining. He just wanted to find gold. He hadn't studied. He just staked a claim and went to work with his pick and shovel. And fortunately for him, after weeks of manual labor, Darby's uncle was rewarded. He discovered gold, lots of it. And he realized, oh my gosh, he wasn't prepared for this success. He needed machinery. There was a lot of rocks and dirt that needed to be moved, and he did not have the money for this. So he went home. He told people he knew, oh my gosh, there's going to be lots of ways for all of us to get rich. He raised the money, and he went back to dig up that promised treasure. When the first gold rocks were retrieved and they had it analyzed, sure enough, it was high quality ore. He thought just a few more loads and they would not only be able to repay their debts, but they were going to have money to spare. Right about then, tragedy struck. The gold disappeared. Just when their hopes were at their highest, the Darbys were crushed. To reach the end of the rainbow, that notorious pot of gold was no longer there. And they kept digging and digging and nothing was found. It wasn't long, their dissatisfaction, they became impatient, discouraged, defeated. Darby and his uncle, they just sold the mine and their equipment to a local junkman for a few $100s. Now, for years, this junkman had been looking for an opportunity to break into the mining business. It was something he had visualized. He had studied mining for over a decade and had always believed that this was his destiny. He had a vision that compelled him forward. He was passionate about the idea of mining because this was his dream. And he knew that one day opportunity would come his way. He was prepared to go all the way to make his vision a reality. And he was also smart enough that when the opportunity did come, he got help. He got help. He hired a mining engineer, and together they looked at the mine, and they looked at what the Darbys have been doing, and they saw that there were 2 long veins, and the previous owners had only drilled down 1. Right? So they went to the mine, they dug down the other vein, and sure enough, they struck gold. And it was not just a small amount. There were pockets, the largest pocket ever to be uncovered. Millions of dollars of gold were in that mine. So the junkman had succeeded where Darby and his uncle had failed because of his determination to fulfill his dream and vision. And you know that famous saying, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. I think that's the same with a vision. When we have a vision and we stay true to it, like the junkman did, opportunity is bound to come our way. There is even more to this story, But first, I want to just unpack a little bit what you've heard already and see how it might apply to you and your vision for 2022. So I believe that if you have a vision, what I think of like the junk man, that destiny vision, one that feels meant to be, it will feel good when you imagine it becoming a reality. So compelling that you want to hold that vision and do your spiritual work. This is where the spiritual work aligns with visioning. And part of that spiritual work is affirming, trusting that the universe will deliver your vision to you in just the perfect time. And there are going to be times, there always are, where it's tempting to give up, right? We get impatient, we doubt. We might even doubt. Spirit is working in our favor. Don Green, who is a CEO for the Napoleon Hill Foundation, where this story comes from, he has this saying. He says, before great success, you will surely meet with temporary defeat. I love that. He uses the word surely meet. So it's not like maybe you will. It's like pretty much that's what's going to happen, right? And mostly what people want to do when they meet with temporary defeat is to quit. They doubt, they give up. I actually found a statistic on this. I went looking online. 92% of people give up on their goals, on their dreams, on their vision. 92%. So only 8% of people move forward. Which percent would you like to be in? People like the Darbys quit because they don't have that commitment. And the junk man, in contrast, he had a vision. He had a passion. He knew what he wanted. So he became a multimillionaire because he always knew in his heart of hearts that one day he would catch his break, become that gold miner. And so he did whatever he needed to do until the opportunity arose. He did that preparation, right? So that he could get lucky one day. And I believe that the universe, God, spirit has no choice. Once we are really committed and it's right for us, there's going to be the right place, the right time for that vision, for that dream to come true, right? He had that unwavering faith. And that's the difference between wishful thinking. Oh, I hope this can happen. This would be nice. And then even when it does, it doesn't work out, to really being committed to your vision. So have you ever had this happen where you tried to achieve something, an intention, a vision, and at first you were met with resistance? Or maybe for me, I know there's some kind of mess that happens instead. I'm like, no, that's not what I wanted. It could be, if this is what happens for you, that there is a metaphysical meaning, right? The same thing that Don Green was talking about. You are unearthing an old belief system, those limiting beliefs, those assumptions that need to come to the surface so you can clear them out to actually move forward and achieve that vision that you're holding. When we grow, all of our growth, spiritual growth, it's not for sissies, right? Because it's bound to have those experiences that challenge us. And one of the most common causes of failure is the habit of quitting when you're taken over by this temporary defeat. I also looked this up online. It's kind of the same thing. 90% of the people, right, just don't move forward when they meet defeat. So this is for you to take into 2022. Whatever your vision is, your dream, hold on to it, stay committed, because you just might be 3 feet from gold. And if you're meeting with that mess or resistance or mistake or failure, remember, this just might be the time. And here's another piece that I got from Charles Fillmore, and I'm totally doing a paraphrase here. So he said, so there are times when we are visualizing, we have this thought, we know what it is we want our vision to look like, and it's great, it's fun. And I think we send a signal out to the universe, but many times we have an idea that it's going to look like we think, it's going to happen in the time frame we think, and that's as good as it gets. We think our mind is making up the very best picture, but from God's perspective, think about God's perspective, from the realm of all possibility, it's just a beginning. It's just oh, the word is not coming to me, but it's like, oh my gosh, that's a great idea. Now God, the universe, spirit takes it and will make it into something even better. Right? So part of our spiritual work is to think of our vision as a starting point, what our minds can make up as a starting point. And we let God bring something even better into our reality, because we know, we know we're just 3 feet from gold. Okay, so taking that into 2022, all you need to do is know this. Your mind just gets started on something. It will help you to move forward. You'll have an idea. Open up your imagination, have some faith, and connect with that source. And stay committed to the vision that's yours, that 3 feet from gold. Keep on going. Okay, now there's one more part to this story. So what appears to have been a big old mistake by Darby, right? It was. He didn't keep going, but he learned from his mistake. He learned. It was his greatest blessing, it turned out to be. Darby went into the life insurance business, and he vowed in his new business to never give up. Just because somebody said no to him when he asked them to buy insurance. Never again. So in fact, he never again was going to stop 3 feet from gold. And he became one of just a handful of people who sold over $1 million in life insurance annually. This was a long, long time ago. So it was like a huge amount of money too, right? That's another important aspect of visioning. So Mr. Darby, also he had a vision of becoming wealthy, just like the junk man. And it could be that he didn't have the commitment to see it through with the gold mine. But maybe it wasn't his to do. Maybe it was the perfect way for him to learn the lesson he most needed to make his vision a reality. The real vision, the one that God had for him, that bigger than what his mind could make up. Right? Maybe it was a fantasy. Oh, I think this is the way it's going to go. But instead, he got to learn the lesson that he needed for his real vision to come true. So it could be when we meet that resistance, those limiting beliefs, the messes that might happen, right? That there's a better vision that Spirit wants to help us make a reality. So I'm going to leave you with this. Whatever vision you have for this year, for yourself, for this beautiful church, our country, the world, whatever your dreams, goals, aspirations, all you need to do is trust in your spiritual practices. Look at your own timeline, let go of your own timeline, how you think it should look, how you think it should be. Just keep taking those steps that feel right. Accept the failures and glean the lessons they bring, and allow the universe to help you bring your vision to life.